evening, everyone. I am this is Crystal Lynette, and I am joined by Mr. Rogers Reviews. He is big on TikTok, and please subscribe to his TikTok. Please, he goes live. He is he's reviewing TV and movies, everything. And I'm also joined by Joshua Horsford. He is a writer and an actor, and a good friend, poet Soleil Cherie will be joining us soon. But we had to get into it. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, and I said, I really want to review Sinners, but it's been in the box office for a while. I don't know if maybe. And she said, Crystal, it can be a month later. You need to talk about this movie. Like, we need to talk about this.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So first of all, you guys, what did you think? Just in general, before I get the slides going, in general, what did you think about the movie? What did you think?
You go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
In my honest opinion, it was trash. I was playing. It was fabulous. I loved everything about this movie. I went in. For some reason, when I went to the movies, I was nervous because I didn't really know what to really expect. Like, I knew it was a vampire horror movie, and I know how cliche it can be and how some horror movies just don't live up to the hype.
Right.
But this was more than a horror movie. Like, it had horror aspects to it, but the way I left that movie theater feeling seen and recognized and just proud of being a Black man in America at a time like this, man, this movie came at the right time, and I loved it.
So, okay, go ahead, Joshua, because I want to tap on to what you just said. What did you think, Joshua?
Same thing. Like, I kind of was always just going to support because Ryan is the man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love his movies, but was just like, okay, it's a vampire movie. Then it's kind of like a period piece, and then, but after seeing it, I was just like, wow, like he actually pulled it off so well, because it's like a lot of times people will try to do like, oh, it's a horror movie, but it's kind of action too. And then it's like, it's got some comedy elements, and it just ends up being like, okay, like that was cool. But he really told a like succinct original story. I loved it. Top to bottom.
A lot of people are calling it folk horror. And I agree with that. It's a period piece, but it's also, and is it horror because it's vampires? It wasn't necessarily, I guess it wasn't necessarily horror to me, because I guess horror, I think of Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street. I think of, Jason. I think of our Humongous and the, old monsters and stuff like that. But vampires is that. So I agree with that, but it was folk horror.
It's not scary though, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily, it wasn't scary, not to me, but I agree with the folk horror. And Mr. Rogers, we were talking earlier, like we're both from South Carolina. I'm Geechee, like that's all true. Like it was, it was all true. So like I really love that aspect. There's a part in the movie that I was like, oh no, does it take away from the horror piece? Does it take away from the movie? I'm glad I went to see it a second time when they're singing, and he takes elements from, and he like talks about, and like you said, Mr. Roger, you felt seen because he talks about how music transcends through the ages. And I love that.
He also, it was kind of another element was like the historical, like a kind of like a historical, like you were saying, like music, like the history of Black music or the history of American music piece, especially with that, the piece after the movie, it kind of connected it back. It was like, so so it was another element in there of like historical nonfiction or something like that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's take it from the beginning. And I'm gonna add our screenshots for a second, because in the beginning, so we see Sammy, and we want to touch on this a little bit as well, because this is a newcomer. Miles Caton is a gospel artist. He sings background for her. He's new in the game. He was 19 when he filmed it. Now he's 20. Like, he's new, and he just killed this. He killed this role.
That boy got that Barry White. When he started talking, I was like, "That is no way. This is your voice. You are." I just couldn't believe it. That one thing blew my mind. And then when he started singing, I was just like, okay, you just out here just doing stuff. Wow.
You don't have to work at that voice. I have a friend that just sings like that or just sounds like that. And I'm like, this is your everyday voice? Because as Joshua, you're acting and you have to do ADR, you have to do that. But I was like, oh no, wait, that is his real voice. I started like at one point, like watching his mouth. I said, oh no, that's his real voice. That's really him.
And I thought he was great just because it was like I felt like he was kind of like he did his own as far as like being like the third. Like it would suck to be Michael B. Jordan's little brother. You know what I mean? Especially if they were twins, it would be like you know what I'm saying? But I thought he did like he held his own. He carved out his own space in the film.
Oh, for sure.
And
sure.
it was good. He did a good job.
Totally agree with you. Like you said, it would suck to be Michael B. Jordan's little brother.
He's handsome and funny and you know what I'm saying? In shape. What the
heck? I'm like, all right, he ain't got the voice though.
Right. And you're right, he carried his own. And technically, he's the third lead because Michael B. Jordan played two characters. You're like,
that actually felt like two different characters. So.
Yeah, that actually felt like two different characters.
So Sammy walks in, and there was a lot. It's so funny because my first writing, screenwriting instructor said he hated flashbacks. But there are flashbacks in this movie, but it starts from the end. And when you see Sammy walking in with a piece of this guitar and you see his father saying, like, please give me that guitar. And you're like, what the hell did this boy just go through?
Yeah. And that scene made me mad a little bit because I'm like, everybody see this man got face bloodied up, blood all over him. Nobody said, baby, are you okay or nothing? I'm like, okay.
So you saw that the mom said, are you Sam? She really wanted to go to him, but the father just pushed her. And stopped. And I was like, oh gosh, I was like, he needs his mama right now,
You know what though? Now that we saying that back, I'm thinking on it too, like just extracting it, English major brain. It's just like, well, sometimes the church isn't the most welcoming place.
You're right.
There you go. Like you think you go to. He think he
they turn away homeless people.
Place. Yeah. Oh damn. So you think you're going into a place of embracement, but we went into a place of judgmental. Like you out. See, this is what you get for playing out there with them boys and them young guys and that nightlife. And I was just like, I felt that before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I was supposed to be healed.
So then we meet the twins, and then not only do we meet the twins, but we meet the Grand Dragon of the clan, and we knew something was up here. But looking at Stack, he's rolling this cigarette. Well, we first enter the scene, and Michael B. Jordan's trying to calm his shakes. Smoke, Elijah and Elias. So. What did you think when they met the clan? What did you take from this scene?
Well, at the time we didn't know it was a clan, so I was just like, they actually buying something from a white man? Like it's just like that part right there kind of threw me for a loop, but I was like, okay, cool. But I love the introduction of them like not being afraid of him.
Yes.
And it was just like, they even was playful. It was like, oh, y'all twins? Like, nah, we cousins, dumbass. Like that's
right.
And everybody loved that scene. Loved the one liner right there, man. And I just thought it was cool. Like it was a great introduction of them so that they don't really you see the dynamics between them already. Smoke don't take no mess.
Right.
Stack is more of the smooth talker, joyful one. Wow. And it's okay, cool. Two different characters. Like it. Let's see how they go.
I love the fact that like with twins, they're totally different people. You know what I mean? And he really pulled this off that they're twins and they love you. And that's another thing I want to talk about. And I couldn't get any pictures of them hugging, but the dynamic, because black men, especially at that time, I almost thought that they'd be at odds or they'd be rivals. But I was like, oh no, they really did. They really cared and loved each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got time for that next scene. We got a minute for that introduction.
The clan, I kind of forgot about that whole clan introduction as well. Like once it happened, I was just like, oh yeah, that was just a white man that they talking reckless to, and then kind of slipped out of, just because the movie, carried me along. I was just like, oh, it kind of just slipped out of my mind.
Right. It kind of just like carried you until the next, because because we were like, okay, it's only one scene, one aspect, and that was it. And I said, oh no, something. I said something about to happen with this guy. I don't know. I didn't know at what point, but the fact that how that came around again, I like that fact that, and I loved the dynamic. So we hear in the in the movie how their father used to beat up Stack. And I don't know why, but he always, maybe because Stack was the more reckless at the mouth. Maybe Stack was the more, he was the more adventurous one. So his father was always beating him down, and Smoke killed his father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so then they separate, and I didn't get a picture of them separating, but that dynamic of the snake in the and them separating, and so that was another part that we saw how Stack Stack wanted to wait another week. He's the more level-headed one, and Smoke's like, no, I'm sorry.
Smoke wanted
to
wait. Yeah,
Smoke was the more level-headed one. But Stack wanted to get the money. Let's get the money. Let's get this money. Oh, I think we got another. Oh, hold on 1 second. I think we got somebody else joining us. 1 second.
Hey,
Yes, Soleil, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. I can hear you. Okay, y'all. This is Soleil. She is a slam poet artist. Y'all may have seen us collaborating several times, but yeah. So Soleil, we're talking about the dynamic between, if you had anything to add, the dynamic between, y'all, hold on. I need mouse control. The dynamic between the two brothers, Stack and Smoke. What did you think about the dynamic between the two?
What do you mean by dynamic?
Like the fact that they, still loved each other, but they're two different people and they're killers. What did you think about that?
Honestly, I thought their dynamic was so interesting. What I really thought was dope, though, was how Michael B. Jordan was able to portray both of them and basically come in and just kind of completely just drop who he was for one character and do the same thing for the other. I don't know how to explain.
No. What's funny is
the range.
The range, and he's even said sometimes on those days that he's a little bit more tired. Smoke was the more grumpier one, so he could lean into that. My tiredness, he could say I could lean into that. And those times when I had to be up and alive, that's when I had to be Stacked. So I really appreciated that. I really thought that was cool. So they separate. I didn't get a picture of them separating and everything, but then they go and meet the Chows. They go and meet Bo and Grace, and I really wanted to get a scene of them shooting the guys in. I looked for this scene because I loved it. First, the negotiation, the fact that Smoke sat there and that little girl. I was
he taught her. Yeah.
You know what? Somebody brought up something interesting that I didn't think of. They said something about Smoke's daughter probably would have been around the same age as that little girl, and that's probably why he sat there and took the time to break that down to her. I thought that was really good.
That is a good point.
That is a good point. So, because they had been gone for about 7 years, I thought that little girl was a little older, but still.
So she's around her age, but that's what I was saying.
Yeah. No, I agree.
The fatherly instincts took in automatically.
That's what I was about to say. The father figure in him, and also just him as a father figure, like him being the one that took care of Stack. I just think, he's the more mature one. So she was. That would have been me though. That little girl, okay, then 10 cents. Nope. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You know what was even better though was the fact that right after that they went into the juxtaposition between the little girl and Grace, and how she immediately went straight into, this is what I want and this is what you need to give me.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. Excuse me. I noticed that too. How Grace knew how negotiation. She was like, "No, this is what it is." So she knew what to do. So I like that part. And then when he went to go and shoot those guys up, and that's another part of it. They're calling it folk horror. They're calling it a horror movie. But I said this movie is funny. We haven't even gotten into the Delroy Lindo of it all. We haven't even gotten into that.
You got to have that comedy to ease the tension to get of ease the tension of having all the horror and the
Yeah, you
suspense
do.
and the
Yes.
trauma that comes later in the movie. What I love about this film, I don't say it earlier, of course I felt seen and everything, but the fact that they took the time to build these characters up and give them personalities, and it's not just blank canvases of people like in most horror movies where it's just like you try to immediately get to the horror and we don't know nothing about these characters, so you don't really care about what happens to them.
Right.
So by the end of the movie, I'm just like, please, y'all, come on now, you gotta make this work. You gotta get up out of here because I need everybody to survive, even though I know somebody's gonna die. So it's one of the things that's hard to do. That's why a lot of films don't do it. This one does it damn near flawlessly. So.
I agree with that. And also, what's interesting is it took about like the first 40 minutes. We don't even see the vampire. We don't even see the part. We're taking the first half just to introduce us to these characters. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say I'm glad that they got the jump scares out quick. Can we cuss? Are we cussing?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That shit scared the hell out of me. I was so scared. I was like, is it gonna be like this the whole time?
The snake when he was going into the church. Because when he was going into the church, they did a couple jump scares of showing like they were doing what's the TikTok trend, the foreshadowing, like they'll show a little clip or whatever it was to happen, or whatever. So I was like, okay, that's a good jump scare.
The snake was a good jump scare. Mm-hmm. What was the other part? What was the other?
It was a snake, the church, and then it was another one.
There weren't a lot of jump scares, honestly. There weren't a lot.
There wasn't that many. They have an end one where they was trying to go out the back door and Remnick shows up.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That one was a good jump scare. He actually came through the top of the thing and said "Sammy" like that. I was like, okay.
Had me thinking it was stairs up there. I was like, oh
yes.
And then when Preacher fell, I said, oh shit.
I know, me too. Okay, so then we meet the Chows, and then so then we go into, and excuse me if I've missed a part. I know that I've missed because y'all, we want to talk a little bit after this section here about the three of them in the car and the chain gang scene. But we want to talk about this scene with Annie and Smoke. What did you guys think of this scene? What do you think of Annie just as a character? Mumi Masaku. Yes. What did you think of her? Let's talk about it. Go ahead. Who wants to go first? Soleil, go ahead.
Oh my God, yes, please. She is so cold. Oh my God, she is so dope. Especially because I saw her in I was introduced to her through Lovecraft Country.
Okay.
So like she was really made for this role, to be honest. Like she is a horror queen, just chef's kiss. But the dynamic between the two of them, what I thought was really beautiful, really about the whole movie for real, is somebody pointed out that like the sex scenes weren't too just, they were tasteful, you know what I mean? Like it really gave everybody like, it showed a lot of respect for Black women's bodies, truth be told. And somebody else pointed out that like the Black women were getting all types of pleasure throughout the whole movie. Like I'm here for it. So.
It was unexpected. That was for sure.
Yeah.
I love you're right. It was tasteful, but it's still sensuous. It was still intimate. It was still sensuous. But it was still tasteful. And I agree. They were still getting a lot of love through the whole movie. Yeah.
And two, I think for me, like, I had just never like I had never seen like a Black woman be romanticized like this type of Black woman be romanticized on screen like this. Like, cause she also was like a nurturer to him. Like she wasn't like his, because typically a woman is like the sexual, like hot, like Robin Givens or like, you know, Halle Berry. No disrespect to those women, but it's like a different. She was like, I'm gonna take care. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna take care of you, and it was like it was just beautiful to see. Like, you know what I mean? It was really beautiful to see. Like, yo, like she's not the typical.
You can go ahead and say
Hollywood person, Hollywood beauty, quote unquote, and then also she's not the typical type of Black woman that we see on screen too. So it was just it just hit me. I was just like, oh shit. Yeah. And was she taller than him too? Was she?
I think she is a little taller than him.
I felt like when they were hugging at first, I thought she was just higher than him.
Or at least eye level.
He was
Yeah,
sitting. He was sitting on something, but
Okay, that's
I
what it was.
think
Okay.
they
Okay,
are
okay.
around the same height or close. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Mr. Roger? Go ahead.
I was gonna say in any other movie or horror movie, whatever, her role and Haley Steinfeld would have been
Mhm.
reversed.
Yep.
Steinfeld would have been the more sensual, caring one, and she would have been the stereotypical angry black woman who was mad about, not being with her lover and this and third, just because of the skin color, her being more dark skinned, and she be more of a heavy set woman. She's beautiful. She's a gorgeous woman. Like you, Soleil, I saw her in Lovecraft Country, but she also, if you ever saw We Own the Night on HBO Max or Max, whatever, she kills that role. It's about Baltimore, corrupted Baltimore police officers, and she's a lawyer trying to, figure out like all the police brutalities. Also, if you want another good movie, I'm getting my review on right now. I'm sorry. His House. It's an African horror movie. Creepy as hell.
Is it the one that was set in England?
Yeah.
It's
when the refugees go into a house and creepy as hell. Now that's a horror movie. But anyway, she's just a great actress. She kills every role, and she just has this power coming from her and everything. Like in Lovecraft Country, when she was sticking that heel up my boy, poop shoot. It was crazy.
Okay, first of all, I love that y'all giving me stuff that I don't know. I got to check out His House.
Yeah, I've heard of
just
We
saw
Own
that
the Night
trailer.
before. Somebody else has told me that's on their list. And so
Yeah, We Own the Night. I know I've seen that before. I haven't seen His House though, so I'm gonna check that out. Yeah, I loved her. I love the the spiritual aspect. And we. I was watching something and they were like, well, I wasn't sure about it, because of my faith and everything. I said, you have to, because again, being from the South, listen.
They hate this. They hate this movie.
Yeah. So I was like,
we definitely need to talk about the ending scene and how a lot of people were clapping when when Sammy was saying the prayer.
Yes.
And then Remick turned around and said the same damn prayer. I was like,
yeah.
See?
Right. But I loved her.
Wait.
Go ahead. It was just very sensuous. I love the fact. And then so she said, your body still remembers me, but she said it.
That was a line.
But she said it. Now they said that she said it in tongues, that she was speaking it in I said, I don't.
It was in French.
It was in French. Okay. I was like, okay, she said it in French. I said, that makes sense. I was like, no, she did not speak tongues, but yeah,
that scene made us feel it sounded like
it was definitely that voodoo.
So, but now, unfortunately, hold on. I needed to get the scene. Hold on. We're going to. Okay, I'm gonna go to this scene now because
before we move on, I want to say that in that scene right there, he was talking about how he was mad at her for accepting the money that the kids had and everything.
Yes,
and it was something that I just learned by playing the game South of Midnight, where they didn't give our people actual money for their labor. They gave them like vouchers type things, whatever.
Fake money.
It only worked it only worked in the fields or something.
In the fields, yeah. And I was like, dang, that's the second time I've seen this. And like it's just one thing that makes you really feel like immersed in the movie by them actually having like these cultural facts and everything that people don't even know about.
Yeah. But you see, go ahead.
And no, speaking of, because I was gonna say too, just as a movie fan, as a sarcastic, skeptical person, when he was originally like they were saying nigga so much in the beginning, I was just like, did they do that? Like, because I didn't know the tone of the movie, and then I found out that they actually, like, black people actually did start saying nigga like that, and like it's recordings of that, and then also the thing when they came down, they were like, yo, we're bootleggers from Chicago. I found that because at first I was just like, oh, these are just gonna be two historically inaccurate black characters from the South, which is cool, but you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
He grounded it in a reality where it's like, oh yeah, you could see that. Like they were bootlegging it in Chicago or whatever, and so Yeah.
No,
as well.
that's actually what I was going to add to the fact. Those little nuggets that he added were it's so important. The fact that those little girls gave them that type of money that you can't use anywhere else, and that's why he was trying to say, take this money instead. Like he said, I don't want your money, but still, those little girls gave her
I
that
love how
money.
adamant she was.
Culturally important. Go ahead, Saleh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying I loved how adamant she was about not taking his money and sticking to her values and her morals on that, because she really could have taken it. But I mean, we already know that that's basically what the movie is about. It's not taking from them and keeping within our own,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
for us by us.
Right.
Yes.
And then they said, I was like, okay, so you're also going to say that too? Like, come on now. But,
Yeah.
that takes out the cultural relevance of it. But then I said, it probably
it's real.
That too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now let's go to the train station. We got Stack at this train station, and that's where he meets Delta Slim, and him and Sammy meet Delta Slim, and let's talk about the Delroy Lindo of it all. First, the
GOAT.
Yeah, I mean,
just the absolute legend.
Like I watched not Crooklyn, the Spike Lee movie with Delroy.
You're talking about Clockers.
And I just saw that and just like I just want to give this man his flowers and just be like, yo, this man is like, like he's one of them ones, man. He's one of them ones. He's one of them ones.
Delroy, when he came on scene, I was expecting to hear the old raspy voice, and he did that high pitched voice. I was like, "Oh, what? Okay, this is new, but I like it." And he just has so much wisdom in him, and so much. I didn't even know this man's from Britain. Like I didn't know he's from another country, because he just oozes Black America. So if you ever seen the Five Bloods or whatever, with the other Spike Lee movie, with him walking through the jungle, the man had me, I was tearing up how he was just going off and just monologuing. I said, bro, this man is a GOAT. This man is dope. And he did the same thing in this one. He stole the scene when he was riding the car. I know we're going to get to that one, but oh man, I can't praise him enough. He deserves his flowers for real, for real.
Is the Five Bloods good?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out too.
So the Five Bloods, and that's where he got his Oscar snub that him and Spike. He really thought he gotten at least nominated for a Five Bloods. My favorite is Clockers, or not. I'm sorry, my favorite is Crooklyn. But Clockers is right up there. But at the same time, I feel like Clockers. Once I saw, you have to be in a certain mindset, because there's a lot of blood and there's a lot of death and stuff in Clockers. There's a lot of gun, violence. So I like Clockers, but Crooklyn is my favorite. There's a scene in Crooklyn that I will just never forget with him.
Oh, you're talking about.
So Crooklyn is my favorite. But yes, that's where we meet Delta Slim, and I just he's an alcoholic because he's seen a lot, and I think he's been through a lot. He's an old blues man. He's seen a lot. But
tempted by the devil, we kind of get that, right?
And there's nothing to do with drink for an old sinner like me, but it's to drink, So I just loved him in this. But go ahead, Soleil, what were you gonna say?
I'm listening there. I'm just listening.
Yeah, I can drink all the corn liquor I want. And I get off and I drink more corn liquor.
I drink some more corn liquor. So unfortunately I could not pull a scene from the car scene, but let's talk about that scene though, because that scene, he's driving and then he sees the chain gang, and then of course the overseer shoots the shotgun and they got to get back to work. And so then he tells this story. What did you guys think about that scene? What did you guys think about that?
I love the fact that he started like hitting on his leg to kind of get the pain out, if that makes sense. I thought that was a really good detail. because
Yeah.
it's like the blues is literally it's literally a genre of blues. It's a genre of pain usually. So to see how it kind of could have went when somebody was creating a song like that, I thought that was real. I thought that was dope.
That was dope. Yeah. I loved that scene because I actually thought I was like, they're gonna get killed. I knew where he was
Oh, I
getting.
thought that too. Oh.
I knew, and the sad thing, I knew. I said, "Oh gosh!" Like he got out with his life. Like he that's what it's almost like you have to go to the bottle. You have to go to this because he's got nowhere. That's how. Unfortunately, that's his how he's staying alive. Unfortunately, it's really sad. I knew that his friend was they're gonna string him up. It was so sad. But
So
it's one of them. Go ahead.
And no, I'm just gonna say in full disclosure. So I saw this for the first time at a drive-in, and it a crazy experience. But actually, like cops came during this scene, and the lights were on, so I had to go and step out of the car and was like, "Hey, could you cut the lights off? Because this is a drive-in movie, we can't see anything." And it seems like I missed Del Rolindo's backstory.
But not really his backstory. It was more like he was telling a story about a little bit of his backstory. He was telling a story about how him and his guys that was on the chain gang got money from singing the blues to these people, and how they would go on the road and they would sing for the white people, and white people they love it, but they don't understand about it, and they try to get on beat. They'll switch it up on them. It was fun and everything. Everything was good until they split ways, and one of his friends got caught at the rail track by the Klan, and since he had a pocket full of money, they said that he lied, that they lied on him, saying that he stole the money, and that he actually did something with a woman. They strung him up right there at the rail track and everything. And it's just one of the things where it's like, no matter how good we have it in a time like that, they always found a way to tear us down and make sure we was in our place and stuff like that. So it was an important story to tell. Because you can see, even when they was driving around and they are chained up, just because they was waving at a car, they still shot the gun and said, "Hey, get back to work," type thing. I'm like, bro, we're chained up. We're locked up. What are we gonna do? Like no happiness for you. Like,
no, that's
they would have gotten shot. He would have that guy would have been shot dead. Just for saying something to Delta Slim just now. So it was, and yeah, that's exactly how that happened. So then everybody gets to then we meet Cornbread. Okay, so first of all, Omar Miller, I'm so happy to see him because I love me some Omar Miller, and he even said like he's had a long career, but he's had like this underdog type of career, but I love. This is
underused character actor.
Absolutely underused character actor, but he's like 6'6", big guy, perfect for him, and we meet him picking cotton like like everybody else is doing, a sharecropper, and then we meet his wife is pregnant. And so him and Stack get into it, but his wife's like, "We need the money. Listen."
Yeah.
So then of course he's now the bouncer for the juke joint, and he's making sure everything is supposed to be going the way it's supposed to be going. And so then we start opening up the juke joint, right? And everything's going, but then we got some guys that, because nobody got money, so they're trying to give him wooden nickels. This is how it's supposed to be going, right?
Right.
And then we see, so hold on. Oh wait, I think this is when we introduce ourselves to some new characters. Okay, hold on, y'all. I want to get to this part because this is the trick right here. This is it right here. We meet Remick. And we meet this crew right here. So when you see Remick come out of the sky and he's all burnt and blistering, what did y'all think? What did y'all think of this?
I didn't know this was a vampire movie at first, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, what happened to this white man?
Why is he burning? I mean, I know
How
they
is
can't
he
be
out of the sky?
I
Yeah.
know they can't be in the sun for long, but they don't burn.
Yeah. I was like, is it an alien now? Is
I
it
didn't know what was
I
happening.
was like, my thing was, if you know the sun burning you, it's been pretty high for a long time. Why you out and about? But we realized why he's out and about because he was getting his ass chased.
Right. So
Rick
Rick
came-
but you notice something like he's so smart with it though that he noticed, and this is another thing I like with this movie is that, and I like movies that you have smart villains. You're smart when you have a bad guy. Sometimes it just something happens. You're a little dumb, or they just they're not something falls by the wayside. But there's a smart villains, and he noticed that Klan outfit. He noticed that Klan uniform. And he said, okay, this is what I got to do. This is how I got to play up on it. And I thought I had so then he started to talk about there's some, Native, I'm going to say Native Americans.
Native Americans.
They can say indigenous.
Indigenous people, yeah.
Indigenous people. So we were saying indigenous people, Native Americans. And so that's what he had to play on. He said, that they're following me and please help me. So of course, as a white man, they bring him in.
Yep.
Nah, them saying you sure it ain't just some fair scared or hard R's was crazy.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
I'm sorry, you're right. That's what he said.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is this is gonna be good.
He just wanted to see it. He just wanted to see it.
You see how he played up on that though. He said, oh, I see the Klan uniform. This is what I gotta say to get in here.
Yes.
And so that's
you can always trust an ignorant white man to
be ignorant.
Be ignorant. Yeah.
Right.
It's just
Mm-hmm.
And let the devil in his house. He'd rather
business with the devil
sizzling. Indigenous people, right?
He was sizzling.
I said, look at him. This man is sizzling from the sun, and y'all just let him in your house.
Just let him in.
I love the fact that the Choctaw was just like, okay, well, all right, and left.
Hey, we warned you.
Yes,
he's a very dangerous person.
I want to go over that a little bit because first of all,
great.
When I first saw the movie, I said, I want to see more about the Indians. Indigenous people. I want to see more. Why they only get one scene? Why they only get one scene?
Mm-hmm.
And they were so cool. It was a type of like it was like they had it was like I was just like this is modern. This is this was cool. Like I've never seen this before. Like this type of representation.
They pulled up deep. They pulled up deep. They knew how to approach the situation.
Yeah.
And once they found out that they didn't want their help, they're like, all right,
cool.
We out.
We're not negotiating.
We like, hey, they say, hey, we gotta get back before the sun goes down.
Right, because it's
cool.
He said, "No, we gotta go. We gotta get back before the sun goes down. We know what's going on." And he said, "They're not what you think they are." And he said, "So as soon as she shut that door, she was done for. She was done for." But that's so now she gets bit, and then.
Wait.
Okay.
Somebody brought some. I'm sorry. I have to ask y'all if you heard of this. Somebody brought something up on Threads, and they said, "Did Remick eat the baby?" There was a crib in there.
Oh
yeah.
Probably.
There was a crib in there.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm like,
I missed that.
No.
I missed there was a crib in that little.
Yeah, it was a crib in there. I remember because it was a rocking chair. And it was a crib right behind him, and the husband was on the ground. And he was like, "Oh, right. he'll be up, whatever."
Yeah,
probably, right?
Or they just didn't know how to get it work. They don't get rid of their furniture, you know.
Yeah.
They just don't get rid of stuff, you know.
There was a couple things I wanted to see Lisa again.
That's dark.
I wanted to see there was a couple people that we don't see anymore. We don't see Cornbread's pregnant wife anymore. We don't see Lisa anymore. So those are the kind of things that I was like, I wanted to, we'll talk about that in a minute. So like
I just thought about this. I was gonna save it to the end. I was gonna save it to the end, but I just thought about how cold it would have been if Like we know the clan was coming after him at the end, right? And he has this epic showdown with him. That was fire. But you know how cold it would have been if he would have actually been like, he been doing it, and then the indigenous people pulled up too, and they would have got them some get back. I was like, that would have been fire.
Yeah, I thought that was gonna have kind of some type of epic showdown. Yeah.
I get it. We fight the Ku Klux Klan.
We don't want anyone to save us or whatever.
We don't never really see a black man gunning down racist white people. It's always we gotta take the high road or whatever.
Yes, it is always we gotta take the high road. Yeah.
I love that we got that though, but it still would have been cold if the indigenous people would have pulled up too. They'd be like, "Hey, you want some?"
Yeah, they want some of this. They want some of this. That would have been cold.
We want some.
Some extra tools. Yeah,
we warned them.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I would have liked. Okay, everybody's talking about they want a number two. They want a number two to this. I said, what if you just concentrate on the indigenous people aspect of the film?
That also
them being vampire hunters. That would be cool.
Because I feel like he had a flock. They probably took out most of Remnant's flock, and he had to regroup.
Yeah.
So.
Honestly, I feel like this because there was a point in time where I fully agreed with y'all. Like, we should have we should have a sequel, we should have a prequel. Like, there are so many things that he can really do with this universe if you're being
absolutely.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this being just a standalone film, leaving it alone.
It's either way.
Yeah.
If he sits with it, I'm fine with it. I would definitely watch it again, over and over again, just to be like, he said you found that button. That's hilarious. Or if he decides to do a 90s version of this where Stack is partying with Diddy or something. That's also
no, we don't need that. We don't.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Why you got a party with Diddy? There's so many.
I mean, it's the 90s.
It's the 90s. He got the Gucci sweater on.
We don't need to include him at all.
We don't need to include him. But we all know he was a big thing in the 90s.
Yeah.
We don't claim him, but we do know what he did in the 90s.
Yes. So. And he had a Gucci sweater on. You know what I'm saying?
Coochie down to the socks. Coochie down to the socks.
Yes.
Yes.
Like it might have been about the time Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't Biggie's fault.
But no, I agree with you. So like I do.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Like I said, I would. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really would love to see all these different things that he can do with it. But if you think about it, like, I don't know. That's the whole point of it. Everything just being about capitalism and making everything about money and monetizing everything. It is okay to just make your art just a standalone film. As much as I agree with you, I would love to see it. Like,
but what we might have just talked. It might not be Ryan Coogler, but it might be someone else gets to direct the miniseries, but it's not Ryan Coogler involved. You know what I mean? That like the Center spinoff or something. Yeah, that typically happens.
Her face said it all just now.
Yeah,
I do. And to me, it's not about the money part, but I would like to see just concentrate just on the indigenous people aspect of it, and a lot of people are talking about the prequel before, like what happened to them, Smoke and Stack as children. I don't necessarily want to, but I really want to know like indigenous people as vampire hunters. That sounds cool. That
sounds so cool.
That just sounds so cool. Yeah, not even the money aspect about it, but like that would just be so fire.
There's a movie out there like that right now. It's called y'all go ahead and talk. I'm gonna find it.
Find it. Yeah.
It is a movie where indigenous people are fighting vampires.
The only thing I was like, we're not reservation dogs. Like I don't.
No.
But if there's like something like that, like indigenous people as vampire hunters would just be so dope. But anyway, so let's go back. So now we introduce. So now the and I'll get back to the slideshow in a second. But So now we get Remick walks up to the juke joint, and of course we meet Cornbread. Cornbread's like, nope, you can't come in. What do you think about this? And how that introduction goes? And to me, immediately, I'm like, this is Matt. This is not a good idea. And so, before you go, so like, it's so funny because they're like, well, why don't we just let them in? This is Stack saying, why don't we just let them in? And then, oh yeah, and then somebody steps on their shoe, and then we're all dead. Like then you get strung up. Like that stuff. That the cultural. I mean, there's so many true things that he put in here that's so important. And Smoke was like, don't let them in. So go ahead. What were you gonna say, Soleil?
We skipped the part with the conjuring of the spirits.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's I was looking at it for the movie, but yeah, that is first.
Oh, that was first. Oh, hold on.
That's what brings it.
On that stage.
I found the movie. So it's not necessarily vampires, but it's a blood disease that are bringing the dead back to life. It's called Blood Quantum, and it's like a post-apocalyptic where they are they're on their reservation, and it kind of gets overrun. The world gets overrun with these like zombies, vampires type monsters, and these group of indigenous people are barricaded. They have their own campsite. They go around killing and stuff like that. It's dope. It's a good movie. It's called Blood Quantum. You can catch it on Tubi. Yeah, catch it on Tubi.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. I reviewed it a couple years ago.
Okay. Oh, that does sound okay.
Oh, and AMC Plus. AMC Plus.
Okay. All right, y'all. I love these. This is why, again, I was just saying to Mr. Rogers, I got to bring the show back. We got to do more reviews, y'all, because stuff like this is great. Okay. So let's go back to it. So yes, The Conjuring of the Spirit. Thank you, Soleil, for reminding me. And so that's Delta Slim. He introduces this young man. He introduced Preacher Boy. He says he's a sharecropper. And he gets off and he sings this song. So y'all, what did you think? I have two questions. What did you think about this part? Sammy singing, but also how
somebody take me in your arms
affected the movie. What part of because to me, go ahead. How this was affected the movie. Go ahead.
So for me, when he started singing, I was already talking about how the voices just don't match the body, and he just got his Barry White on. So he started singing. I was like, damn, he can sing too. All right, I mean, I already knew he could sing, but I was like, dang, this is really good. And then when went up to the roof and the roof started burning and everything, no. What happened first? I want to say the narration was going on.
Yeah, they
and I was just like, okay. And then I heard the guitar rip, and I was like, oh shit. And then I saw Bootsy Collins come out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, whoa, what is happening right now? And then everything was just going the whole time. I was like, after that, my mouth was just on the floor. I was just like, this is some great cinematography. The one shot of going through everybody, all the performance coming through. You had the twerk team going. You had the crip walk. I was like, yo, this man done put all our cultures in a melting pot with the Chinese dancers, the African dancers. It was just amazing to see. And the fact that this was something that impacted the film and not just something that he throwing in there. Like it was a part of the film, because a lot of people like to throw messages in there that has nothing to do with the film. They just want to get their message out, and I get that. But the fact that this actually moved the story along, it progressed the story, amazing writing, cinematography, all that stuff, hands down, is one of the reasons why I put this as like an S tier movie, best of the year. Because without that, it's a good story, good movie, but without that scene, I don't think it's as great as like a lot of people are saying that Glazing is, but with this scene, it is.
Go ahead, Joshua.
Agreed.
I agree.
I would agree. I like, as I'm thinking back on it, I wasn't completely brought into the movie just because, like, just whatever, just until that scene happened. And that scene initially kind of took me. I was just like, what is he doing with this? And then once the whole thing happened, I kind of was glued from there. It was just like, oh wow, like he's right. And like Mr. Rogers said, it's like it wasn't like this is the history of black music and the stuff we lost. It was just like, hey man, like this is just a part of the fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? And it fits, and it's just like, and it encapsulates, and it kind of like, if you know, and if you don't, you can learn something. But it's not like beating you over the head. But it was beautifully shot, and I thought it really kind of added a different layer to the movie. As far as the music, the musicality is a big part of the movie, and this scene does a lot with that.
Yeah. Oh,
So what did you think?
sorry. For me, that scene, I can't even really put it into words because I'm a very emotional person, so I was feeling the entire thing, and especially when you see it in the movies and you can feel like the rhythm in your body and you can feel all like it. Just I don't know how to explain it. It literally felt like you were in The Conjuring with him, if that makes sense. Like, he was literally conjuring spirits. It's like you could feel it through the music, through the movement of everybody. And at first I was like I was watching, I was like, what's going on? But then when I kept watching, I was like, this is phenomenal. Yeah. And it was the first time I saw it, I was trying so hard not to cry. I was just sitting there like, I want to cry so bad, but everybody else beside me wasn't crying. So I was like, let me just
let it out.
Toughen up.
I mean, I cried at the end. I was like, when I was in that moment, like I couldn't even explain it. But then what I thought was really dope was the fact that they literally had the roof on fire. Like,
yeah.
The roof.
And then they let it burn. They don't want to let that motherfucker burn.
I thought it was so cool how that was literally a representation of him showing off his actual magic. But the way that they did it was so unique. I personally haven't seen anything like that before. And how they were able to show how it was actually conjuring spirits, but via like just, you know, like you said, people twerking, the Chinese dancers, that just, I don't know how else to explain it. It was just fucking
so I have to say, y'all, I'm glad that I'm having this conversation. At first, I didn't love that scene. I did not. I know.
You thought it was too much or something? Like you thought it was too on the nose or something?
Yeah, I thought it took us out of the actual movie. It took us out, and it made it more present day, and but as you're saying it, and again, I watched the movie a second time, and after seeing all, you know, what people are saying and everything, and how important that scene was, and I understand the importance of it. I understand how Black people and we have made an effect and an impact on music through the ages. I agree with that all very much so. But at the same time, I was like, but putting that in the middle of this movie kind of takes us out of the juke joint between the two twins, and it takes us out of the actual character. But then
I can understand that.
I can see that. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, it was also. I want to cut you off.
But to Soleil's point, because now we, like you said, immediately I was like, is that boutique? It wasn't really
it was a deep Bootsy Collins, but yeah.
It wasn't Bootsy, but you know what I mean. But then we see an African drum, this guy drumming in African, and then we see the dancers and everything, and I was like, but I see the point though. And then when it's narrated, now after a second time, I was like, I see why he did it, because without that, it's a telling why Remick really wanted Sammy. It was without them saying it, that because of Sammy's gift, he could bring more people to him. So I see it. But at first I love the scene, but I was like, but is it good for this? It wasn't needed. That's why I was like, oh no. And so so go ahead.
I can really see where you're coming from with that. Like personally, I do think that it was needed, but I can see how you felt like it kind of took you out of it too. Because there was this part of me that was like, it's kind of taking me out of it. But again, like I also get the point. So damn it, it's like
when I be watching stuff, I always kind of like put myself in the mindset of like what somebody else will be watching because I want to review it from like all different aspects and everything.
Right.
So when I was seeing it, I was amazed, and after it was over, I was like, somebody gonna be pissed off about this, for a multitude of reasons. But then I was like, what about I say? What really pissed me off is that has nothing to do with the movie. What pissed me off was the fact that people wanted to share it without any context on social media. So they were recording it while in the movie theater, and then they'll go and put it on Facebook, whatever. So now you have people who haven't even seen the movie, don't even know the context of this thing. Talk about why the hell they got twerkers in the 1930s. Like what the hell's going on? Why they got hip hop music DJ into this movie is stupid. I was like, bro, y'all don't even know what's going on.
Hold on.
Me?
Was me. No, we're doing too much.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all.
With the devil up in here just now. What the hell's going?
Somebody
at the same time. I was like, I'm doing too much. I'm so sorry.
Somebody take me in your arms.
Sorry, y'all. This is what happened.
I downloaded that soundtrack too. I downloaded
the ending song was, I had to Shazam that, but I don't know where we're going next. But I just wanted to say when they were singing as like the duet or the they were doing their thing, I was like, this is cool, but it's missing. Like when they came outside and they were doing their bluegrass thing, I was like, yeah, this is good. It's good. It is
the river
really
dance
good,
one,
but it's like
the river dance one.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's like, I don't know. You need a bass section or something. I don't know. It's missing something. I wouldn't have let y'all in either. What the hell? Like, y'all know.
Alex, what's going on with you?
Okay, wait. You mean the first song? What was it? Pick Poor Robin Clean?
Pick Poor Robin Clean. I pick Poor Robin Clean. It is stack ass.
It's the way that they took out the instruments, though, that was so funny to me. Like, why'd they take them out? Like,
they just came out of
that song was actually by a Black blues artist, and I'm gonna get her name.
Wow. They put it on the soundtrack.
Yeah, they put it on the soundtrack. So and then now they've remade it, and so now they've made it into some like bluegrass thing. And so you're right. And I was like, okay, what are they do? They're trying to, and I said, are they hypnotizing them? That's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Oh, and then you see him river dancing. I said, oh, this is almost, it's a way of just like Sammy and conjuring the spirits and showing the music through time. It was almost a way for him to show how strong of who Remick is, and how, and how many followers he has, and come with it. It was almost like that. I was like, oh, this is a way of showing, you need to come with us and stuff like that. So let's go to, I want to go to, what's her name? After this, that's when, what's her name? Mary. She goes out and she wants to, because they of course pull the till, and the money ain't there. The money's not going to be there.
Which I like to taking it back to that first time, because I was actually I was on Stack's side, where he was just like, hey man, like we don't want to come in, like we want to make sure this is welcome, and people had a hard day's work. Right. And then, and then afterwards it's like, oh wow, like that is actually, what I'm saying, not charging people with, with the right thing is what actually brought the devil in, or what actually, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great little detail, because I was like, yeah, man, sharecropping all day, man. Give him a free drink, or give him,
The crazy thing, he was like, if they would have did that the way Stack wanted, they wouldn't. He said, Smoke said they wouldn't last a month.
Yeah, no, he said two months. We're gonna be gone. It's gonna be done.
We were screwed either way, no matter.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
throughout? If you really
Yeah.
think about it, they were screwed either way. Like
Yeah.
either we're going to turn a profit, or the KKK was going to come, or some vampires were going to come and fuck their shit up. So
Or the Italians and the Irish
Yeah.
would have figured out what they did to him, tracked
Yeah.
him down. So
So
Yeah,
let's go
so
back
it
to it.
was
So
good.
Daisy's dream. She said it the music, the conjuring of this the music through time. It kind of threw her off for a minute. It threw me. I liked it. I understood why. I understood it, but I just didn't think it needed it for this. I was like, and then after thinking about it, I said, I loved it because you see, like you said, Bootsy Collins, you see the African dancers, you see the ballet dancers, you see all of this happening at once, and how our music has affected people throughout, has made an impact through time. Understand, but I was like, this kind of takes me out of the juke joint, you know what I mean? Or it takes me out of the actual movie. After this, Mike Soleil said, I get it, I got it, and I loved it. So
But
okay.
now that you actually say that, I'm like, I think that might have been the
I
point.
was just thinking that, like, take you on a
out of
journey.
to take you out of the
Take you on a
juke joint.
journey.
Hey man, this goes back from the 1500s when we invented drums to the 2070s when we on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To some new trend.
Especially when she said the future, and it was just then the contact. So it's like it takes you on a journey, and then we're gonna bring you right back into the mess. And then this was great, but we all know that it's quiet before the storm. So it's like you have that moment of traverse and everything through a beautiful moment of cultures blending together, and then you had a storm outside waiting, and that's how they showed the backside of Remnick and his two new followers or whatever. And it was good. It was a good introduction to it.
So I want to go to, because that scene right there, of course, that takes us to, and I actually am a little, y'all forgive me, but I'm out of, because I want to go to meets. I'm out of
order a little bit.
Out of order, thank you. I want to go to when she meets the vampires. I want to go when she doesn't know that they're vampires. She just knows that they're strange white folks. She just knows that they're strange.
So a couple of things with just this. So when I talked to two people about it, they were just like, no, like, but she's black. Like she was like the one drop rule thing, and I'm like,
back then, yes,
she is an eighth. So she was like, she's an eighth black. You know what I'm saying? Which most people are probably an eighth or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so.
But back then, though, the one drop rule, you didn't need much. Once they found out that you had one drop of Negro, they was like, oh, you are not one of us, and you need to go on with the rest of them. That's pretty much why, well, I think that's pretty much why Stax sent her to go be with some white man that she didn't want to be with, is because she would have had a better life passing as a white woman.
Or it could have ruined their lives. Or I guess or something. I don't
know.
know.
That's really
it. More complicated.
Well, Stack knew that. He said, you know, of course I wanted to be with you, but I can't, because, you know, this is not safe for you.
Right.
He knew that there was not going to be, you know, I'm a black man and she's white passing. Well, her grandfather was half black. And then in real life, Steinfeld said her grandfather is half black. But you know, she was not going to, she didn't care about that. You know, the fact that she walked right up into that juke drink, she don't care about that. So she meets
you don't get the fuck out my face.
But I want to.
That was a little bit much for me. I don't know. She was an interesting character. She was an interesting character.
So here's the thing with me, y'all. This was the only predictable part of the movie. Like, this was.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I said she's gonna get bit. And then she gonna go in there, and of course they're gonna let her in because she was already in there. Cornbread knew who she was. I said this is predictable. I said this is the only. I said she's gonna get bit.
Do you think it's because of the trailer, though? Do you think it was because of the trailer? Because we saw her in the trailer before anything else.
I don't remember seeing her in the trailer.
So
Go ahead.
It was a discourse before the movie dropped that a lot of people, because the first trailer didn't show us too much. We got the sinners and everything, cool. The second trailer showed the line with her with all her blood on it and said, "We're gonna kill every one of y'all." That's the one that a lot of people saw. So a lot of people's already trying to figure out that she was a secret agent from the start. Everybody was trying to say that she was a vampire from the start, and they was like just dragging her, talking, "Yeah, you see how these mixed women come in your life and they mess everything up." And I was like, "God damn,
oh my God. I told y'all, mix them in the vampires."
Yeah. Like, see how they play both sides, and when things don't work out their favor, they go ahead and go back to the white people. And I was like, "Yo, y'all didn't even see the movie yet, y'all."
Yo, that's the discourse.
I said that was all over TikTok. I was like, "Yo," like,
that's
we told y'all. I said, "Damn."
I immediately said, as soon as she starts talking to Stack, and of course it's easy for her to be convinced, or easy for him to be convinced, because he likes her, and they need money. Yeah, as soon as she walked out there, I said she's gonna get. That's what I was like. This is predictable. She's gonna get bit.
Now, one thing I didn't predict, and that's, well, we knew she was gonna take a turn anyway, right? But I didn't expect her to like wise up off top. She was like, "Oh yeah, this ain't right. Let me go ahead and leave y'all the hell alone because y'all kind of weird."
You didn't expect her to pull out the gun? You didn't expect her to?
No. I thought she was gonna go talk to him and they was gonna straight up attack her or whatever. I like the fact that she actually kind of has sense. They showed her with common sense. Mm-hmm. I like that.
I'm not gonna lie, common sense would be not going out there with the white people in the dark. That's just me.
But when your whole entire life you can play both sides, are you really thinking like that?
But yeah, no, you're not. But that's what everybody be talking about. Your whole life you play both sides, then you know what I'm saying?
You know that you can go on the inside. She thought she could get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely. She thought that she could get away with it. She thought she could get her man some money. She thought, she thought that she was going to be able to, and she didn't think that they'd have guns or whatever. And she thought that she could, you showed me how to fight. You showed me how to shoot a gun. I got this. And she was always trying to prove something to him anyway.
Yeah.
That's a good point. She was.
Yep. She was trying to always prove that she belonged, and from not even just for him, but with just being with black people in general. And like, what's that, the movie Passing, where it's like, yeah, they like you said, Soleil, like they did I say your name right? Soleil, sorry. Soleil. Like you said, that once they find out that one drop, they don't mess with you. But they're gonna fuck with you a long way, as long as they know who you are. So
I know that that's a lot of mixed and biracial people's experience. So I'm not gonna talk for them, but like when it comes to Mary, like the one drop rule, she really did thought that she could just come out there and just be like, they're gonna give me whatever I want.
Yeah.
The fact that she turned away from this man who just was drooling, talking to her, like, girl, you gotta keep facing them.
Like, not only that,
yes,
she had a pistol on her. And her man that she know will ride or die for her with his crazy twin brother is like feet, like a couple runs away, a couple feet away. I don't think nobody expected him to like take off like Blade, like.
Look, I could see this the what she was saying, like she was forcing it.
So Daisy's Dream said, my take on Mary and Stack is not a popular opinion. It wasn't giving he had a desire for her. It gave girl get away from me. Felt like she was forcing it a little bit. Absolutely, she was forcing it. She felt more for Stack wanted the money. Stack even if Stack loved her, but he could go without it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Joshua.
I think too. I think that's what didn't quite sit well with me with her character, because she lacked a self-awareness that black people, I feel like, have to have. Like, she not knowing your place, but kind of reading it's like I don't know. Like I felt like the calling this black boy to his face, I think was just a little bit. Granted, she grew up how she grew up, but I think also just like she flies off the handle like a white woman. You know what I'm saying? Like she doesn't carry herself like this. You know what I'm saying? Like someone who is mirrored in the black struggle. So it's just like you're playing like the playing both sides thing is kind of. You know what I mean? It's just like you're down for the struggle when it's, you know what I'm saying? When you are, but it's also like you're clearly using your, you know what I'm saying? Like you're black when you want to be, and then you're not when you want to be. Which
I mean, that was the point, though, was for her to use that privilege to go out there and get the money for them. Like that was the point of it, though.
Yeah,
that was the point, but at the same, so
I think he's saying like the entire time. That's how like her mindset is.
Yeah,
it's like she talking to him like out in the open when they first see each other. Like you know, you stuck your tongue down my cooch and like said it loud as hell. It's like
loud about it.
It's like, girl, you shut the hell up, like
right, girl, you can be even out here.
Like all it took was one white man to walk by
over here and be like
and see her and then see him and just fly off the handle. But it didn't cross her mind to even think that way because she's so used to either
getting her
way or being on their side and everybody just accept her, and then her being on the other side and everybody accept her. It doesn't like you don't know that it's a clear brick wall between this, not a fence, not a line, a brick wall. Because back then, Rosewood. The movie Rosewood, you know what I'm saying? The entire city got burned down because of one white lie.
Yes.
So, for her to say that out loud, crazy work.
Yeah,
crazy work. And then for her to just saunter in there, like because she, you know, she had that privilege. She had that, you know, she felt like she had that privilege and that she could do that. And Stack was more like, listen, I do care about you. But at the same time, we can't be together. We just can't. And so she was not accepting that. She had a whole man. I think she was married, and she was on
that so we're back to Arkansas. Right,
go back to Arkansas.
Your husband has been the come.
We had two adulteries. Crazy.
Right. Well, okay, but so somebody that we have not covered. Speaking of which, let's go to our friend here.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I thought she red herring me. I thought she was gonna be bad news. I thought she was gonna be I thought she had been turned secretly when they did the whole thing. Her character just caught me like she was just literally like a very free black woman. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't you know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything that came with it except she had a good time. You know what I'm saying? It caught me. Yeah, I was just like, oh, she's probably been bit. You know
she definitely could have been an X factor.
Yeah.
In the whole thing. Because it's like you married and you sneaking out the house.
Right. I swear.
In the 30s? In the 30s? I don't know.
I thought two things. One, when we saw her at the train station, that was one thing. But then when we saw her walk up to that juke, I said her husband's going to be with her. She's going to come in the next scene, but her husband's going to be with her. Then he wasn't with her. And then I said, well, wait a minute. In those times, she probably was married to some man, and she's half his age. Like
I was going to say older. Yeah.
Color Purple. Yeah. Color Purple.
Yeah. I thought
I said Danny Glover.
Yes. I really was like, we don't know the
backstory. Guy, yeah.
Like this could be that nasty Bridgerton where this man is like old and stuff, and she just like, I'm like you said, free.
Yeah, that's true. That is
true. Yeah. So I liked her character, but at the same, but I said, what is that backstory? This man just didn't show up. Like, yeah.
She didn't really have much of a backstory, but her song, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's hype.
Yes.
So
yes, she ate that garlic.
It was hype. She was
yes.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. I thought she
I
was
thought
sold.
she
Got her
got
right.
turned too.
Yes.
I thought when I
she
saw
was
her,
sold.
I thought she had got turned too for a second. I was like, uh-oh.
She just got turned out.
Mm.
Preacher boy put it on. Preacher boy
We don't
turned
need no
it
baby
on.
wipes. You know
That
what I'm saying?
boy-
Right here,
I-
right now. I need
Look,
it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
said it
No,
so
baby.
loud in my movie. I said it so loud in my movie in the theater I was watching. She said, she was like, let me freshen up. He said, I just want to taste you. I said, God damn. I said, boy, freaky.
I said, okay, Sammy. I was like, okay. I said, okay, Sammy
He is on
wrong.
it. Right. He is on it. You know what I'm
Hey,
He
saying?
is
I
on
applaud
it.
you, my boy. I
Yes,
applaud you.
exactly. We need more of that. We do need more of that.
I applaud you,
As
my
black
boy.
men, you know what I'm saying? I feel like,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
get to see the sensual black men. You know what I'm saying? Like I
don't-
just want to please you, girl, or I'm just, you know what I'm saying? It's always
It's
other
probably
way
on it's probably a handful of times I've heard people in movies, TV shows actually talk about the clitoris button, and it's like, bro, y'all should know this. Like, so I'm glad that they teaching the people
yes.
through media because
Roger said, I'm glad they
you need
teach
to know what
the
you're
people.
doing. You need to know what you're doing.
And also I'll say this too. I as a movie, like as a huge Tarantino fan, I felt like so long it every time we would be, black men, they just drink beer and be mean to their wives. You know what I'm saying? It would always be, black men don't never eat no pussy. Black men are just go to work and you know what I'm saying? It would be this, it's always like this very, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, nah, man, like, that's not the case. It was
That's
like a layover from Italian. I guess I don't know, like this macho man thing that never. We don't eat. You know,
We
so
don't
whatever.
do, well, the little thing that we don't.
Not the other way around.
Go ahead, Soleil. What were you saying?
I'm sorry. I was saying I forgot that used to be a thing like that. Really.
Yeah. What's crazy is Michael Keegan and Jordan Peele on Key and Peele has a whole segment about how they're like these pimps teaching brothers how to go down to women and stuff like that. And they come to find out is women, they take their mask off and there's two black women trying to like, yeah, we're gonna get these niggas right.
Wait a minute. I was watching repeats.
That's
Of
funny, man.
I don't remember that episode.
You gotta. Oh my god, they dress up like pimps. It's hilarious, man.
I got to go back and see that episode. I do not remember that episode. Okay, so let's go back. Excuse me. So now, so we talked about our friend Perlene. So now she's gotten bit. So now Mary's gotten bit, and so Mary's gotten bit, and now she goes back and she seduces Stack. Let me go to the scene because this scene right here.
Whew.
Yeah. Heavy.
This scene right here.
Nasty too.
Yeah. Okay. The fresh.
I'm sorry. He was giving me a headache. I was trying to be
I had to
discreet.
take it off.
She got
Girl, that's gonna be me in a month.
You
Girl,
remember the
take
time.
it. Let your brains go. Let your brains go.
Look good. Look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look nice.
I'm sorry. I was trying to be discreet. I just wanted to pop back on and y'all, please.
Oh no, we knows that.
Yeah, we gonna show you. Yeah.
Sorry,
Like me coming back with my hat off and shirt off. We gonna see that.
I love it. I love y'all. This is great. Okay, so now she saunters back in there, right? And of course she seduces Stack. And Stack is trying to play it cool. Stack is like, I need to keep my wits about me. This is the first night. Smoke is on me. But he's like, listen, a woman comes to seduce you. Listen, he was
What am I
for
to
it.
do?
So he was like,
That
let me
thing
go
was-
get mine.
Yeah.
That thing been building up since the train station.
Yeah, exactly. This was building up since the train station. This is all she wanted. This is all she wanted, right? So it was. I said, oh man. Well, to me, I was surprised. This is another part that totally surprised me. Like I said, y'all got these twins. We knew this movie was going to be Michael B. Jordan playing both these parts. And then you're going to kill him in the middle of the thing. You're going to turn him into a vampire.
Right. I was like, there's no way that they really did that. I was like, he's really dead, like for real.
That was throwing me off. Yeah, that was
threw me off in the middle. I said, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You killed one of the twins in the middle,
or you can't do that.
That's what. But that's what
I knew that was happening, so it didn't really shock me. But yeah. When I first found out.
That's why it makes it such a good movie. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? So, so then of course she's like, we're gonna kill every last one of you. So I love the fact that Michael B. Jordan's like, forget or Smoke. Of course, she lights her up, and she didn't even affect her. Didn't.
What I love about that scene was the fact that it took him a minute to like process what was happening. Like he didn't want. He walked in. Oh, what's going on? Shooting. No, he's like. He had to process his brother on the ground bleeding out, and her just standing there. He was just like, and then once he clicked, it was just all action from there. And I was like, yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. Because sometimes a lot of times they just like it's just quick reactions. No, people got to process shit they see.
Yeah.
And then of course, Sammy blaming himself but you still showed Sammy's youth because.
Yeah.
If y'all let me ask you guys, Joshua, Mr. Rogers, if you saw that, you would have walked out. Okay, Stacks getting his. I'm not. He even said,
I'm not going up there doing it by myself.
Yeah, I'm not going to interrupt my big brother / boss. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that by myself. Nuh-uh. So he said, if I told you to go get him, you go get him. He said, I'm not doing that by myself. I wouldn't have.
Love that line too. Yeah,
that was that was so good to me. The fact that one, I didn't expect it. I did not expect this man to turn into a vampire in the middle. I was like, what? And then, that part that was crazy to me. Okay, so next thing, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can we talk about actually I thought what was really cool was the transition, the way that Perline's song was playing during all of. Oh my God. And the fact that like everybody was just, they were having so much fun, just kicking it and just having such a good time. But then when they went in there, it's like they were having sex, everything's whatever. He closed the door. They followed the camera to Smoke and Sammy, and then they come back and she's eating him. I was like, yeah, that because you know it's coming, but the way that they did it, I was like,
the way they did it was
wow. Oh, you talking about the one shot? Yeah.
Crazy.
She was basically
it was great.
Yeah, she was devouring him. She was devouring him. I'm trying to find a scene with Delroy Lindo. It's like, y'all, we got a problem. I got that. Like Delroy Lindo's like, no, we got a problem. So, and he closes the door and he's like, we got to let everybody go. Like, and that scene also when everybody leaves the juke joint, I said they're all about to get bit. Like I was like, so this
bro, the fact that he got at least 75% of that crowd is crazy. Like, yeah, they was putting in some work. Everybody playing MJ numbers.
It was probably running as fast as Mary was, because I was like, how did they change them so fast?
Bro, she got up and ran out. I think the only thing kind of like annoyed me was the fact that they kept running out the damn house.
Yeah,
like they'll do something and they'll run out, and then Michael B. Jordan he ran out. I was like, why y'all running out? like
the part like the guy fell on the floor, or we thought that it was blood, and we thought he got bit, so they put him out, and then turns out he passed out because of the drinking, and like. I said, oh man, like they kept going back and forth. I said, stop going outside, y'all. What's going on? Like, but yeah, that part. And then so we get bit, and I'm trying to find this scene with Delroy Lindo. He's like, okay. And then of course, Delroy Lindo, Delta Slim, he's like, he sees that Stack and Mary are in there fooling around. He said, oh, he busy. So like pieces of this movie. I said, this is a comedy. This movie is so good. Okay. So we're gonna go back because I don't see it now. But
At this, I can't remember. Did Cornbread already leave to go take a leak?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he had already
Yeah.
left to go get. Yeah, yeah. Because
Yes.
Darrow was watching the shore. We watching the
Now that I
watching
have.
the door. Yeah. Why he walk all the way out there to use the bathroom?
Yeah, how
Like,
long?
bro, like-
Where was he taking the lead? Yeah.
Where were you
That's-
going?
I said that
sir?
too. Like, why are you walking into the woods? What?
That
Just
Right.
go around the corner, my dude. Like,
He's
Oh, wait, but
lame,
you know what was
nobody
really
see
cool
it.
was like what was really dope was the part where they said somebody said something about fireflies. I can't remember what analysis I watched after the movie because you know we don't do that shit. And somebody mentioned something about fireflies being a symbol for something, but there was that shot with
With-
Cornbread
With
and
Cornbread and
the vampire's eyes were mixing in with the fireflies.
Yeah, yeah, I
Somebody
seen
said-
that. That was
remember what
tough.
the symbolism was.
That was tough.
that was smooth. And then they're saying his name. They're saying Cornbread.
Mhm. I like Cornbread.
I was like, and then I was like, man, why'd you just go around the corner or just go take a leak?
Yeah,
They got a
man.
bathroom somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And that's the fact that he went out there into the woods. I said, oh, now Cornbread's gonna get bit. And this scene with him and pulling his arm.
yeah.
Oh, and so, but I'm like, Annie, I really hope Mumi Masako, she gets a nomination as well, because
Yeah, because that scene was tough.
that
Why
scene
you
was
got-
tough.
Why
Why
can't
you
bring
what
that
you've
scene?
been coming in and out of here all night? But if it wasn't for her being the logical person in the whole movie,
Common sense, man.
Yeah.
Love
But the fact
to see it.
but even before this, and this is another part I don't have a clip of, is when Stack was in the room, when Stack was before, he was dead, then he came back to life and everything,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Don't open that door. That's not your brother
Yeah.
anymore. Don't open that door." And of course, and this is another play on what happened to him as a child. I don't like it in closed spaces like this. I can't stay up in here like this. And and she knew Smoke was gonna open that door, and she ran off. And then she came back with that garlic pickles. Garlic pickles. I was like, Annie was just she was so important to this whole project. It was so important.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her, like, it was so good.
Yeah, and too, I thought she was like a because I feel a lot of times in the Black community, we are a very church-based community. Voodoo is like that type of stuff is looked down upon.
Yeah.
And but that is more like, I don't want to get mixed up, but that's more us than Christianity is. You know what I mean? Like, as far as if we're just talking historically. So I thought it was really interesting that the one closest to our, closest to our roots, or not the church or
It's what saved us.
Voodoo, was the one who was like, "Nah, we got to keep our." Look, think about this. Why is he asking you to come inside right now? You know what I'm
And that's
saying?
why a lot of people hate this movie. Well, not
Yeah.
a lot of people, but a lot of church.
Yeah.
A lot of
hate the movie.
criticism with this movie, but I agree with you. Like, so even in this movie, like, and I was watching something, I think it was Kev on Stage, and he said, when Smoke went to see her the first time, she said that she was she gave him the thing around his neck. She gave him the protection. And he said, well, why didn't any of your spells work on our daughter? And she said, I don't know, but I pray for you, and I worked a spell. Like, I did both. Prayer still works. It's not one or the other.
Yeah,
It's not exclusive. So
I mean, but that's. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That's the law of. That's just the law of the world. You can't bring people back. Like, even if you have these what is the word? Even if you have these gifts in spirituality, it doesn't mean that you can just bring people back. Like, they're gifts for a reason, but that doesn't mean that you can just raise people from the dead. Like, that's not how it works. But she was right. She was like, I don't know why it didn't save our baby, but it saved you. You're here. So you sitting here talking shit, but you're standing right in front of me.
It's not a cover up, man. I think even if you get in the text, I don't think God didn't want Jesus to die. You're right. Like, God, it's like,
it was like
sometimes you just, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So now so Annie's like, okay, y'all, we gotta fight. This is what's happening. He's not a haint, he's a vampire. This is something real. We gotta do something about this, right? So everybody getting together. This is right after Grace Bo leaves and says, okay, I'll go get the car. And I was like, why are you gonna get the car? Stay inside. Like, what's the car's right there? The car's right there. Like, don't go get the car. So
well, I think Bo left to go get the car before
the vampire.
Right when the gunshots went off, because that's when Grace was like,
oh
she's ready to go.
Yeah.
So that when Bo was like, oh, I'm gonna get the car. They didn't know anything about the vampires and everything. So
no, because I remember agreeing with Bo. I was like, Bo, you got to get up out of here, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's when she was like, we ain't coming for this.
Yeah, he didn't know that was vampires and everything. And so, but then we get into Annie. We're gonna I know we're kind of getting a little later, but so the Grace part. Okay, y'all, we might have to spend a minute on this because the
commentary.
Internet is lighting her up.
She's Peter Quill.
Lee Yoon Lee, they're lighting her up. They're so mad at Grace. They're so mad at her. But go ahead, Soleil. You got it. Go ahead. What do you think?
Sorry. There's so much commentary on this because you can tell he just put so much energy and research into this because they talked about like the history of the Chinese people in Mississippi during that time. So like it's interesting that you get to see the beginning parts of Asian stores in Black communities. But somebody brought up the fact that Grace was on the white side and Bo was the one that was on the Black side, and he was more prone to being like, maybe we should stay here and fight. And she was like, absolutely not. We need to get out of here. I think that kind of says something. But when it comes to her character, I can't remember the lady's name. I'm so sorry. But the woman who plays her character, I heard somebody had said that she did a script reading or something and asked Ryan Coogler to change a little bit because she just knew we were gonna be pissed because and it's in the moment. I'm not gonna lie, when I was in the movie theater, I was like, bitch, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I was so mad.
And then you shut your dumb ass up.
Yeah, she dies like 5 seconds into it. It's just like,
that would really make me mad. That would really make me mad.
I'm like, dies. Like, you did that for what? You could have just walked outside if that's the fucking case. Damn, bitch.
You couldn't take two. You and your husband die together? That's crazy. Like,
and then the daughter doesn't have no family.
Right.
But I mean, it also makes sense though, because this is why this movie is so interesting, because there's so many nuanced conversations that you can pull from it. So many complex conversations. She's a mom. She's a mom. She wants to get back to her mom. She wants to get back to her kid.
Damn everybody else. I gotta take care of mine. And we can act like, I would say this too. We can act like we would have been in a totally different mindset all we want. But what is the one thing they like to call Black people? Crabs in the barrel. It's a lot of Black people that sold us up the river as soon as things would have been popped off. If I got a chance to survive and get back to my own family, man, that's the mindset that would have been going on. So a lot of people saying they, bump her this and third. I'm like, look, y'all don't know our people like y'all say y'all know our people. I know the crack epidemic happened for a reason. Like we didn't put the drugs in our community, but we damn sure just still spread it. So I throw that out there.
Listen, man,
I said, she's a mom. I don't like the fact that old boy was flirting with her in Mandarin, and it's so funny. It was on TikTok. They were like, I speak Mandarin, and that's not what she was. That's not what he was speaking. But he was definitely speaking in her language. He was flirting. He was doing all of this stuff. This man was the devil, and he was talking to her in her language. He was manipulating her, and she got angry. And she's a mom, and I said she needed to get back to her daughter. She was ready to fight. I do see your point that, that she's like, listen, we came here for the money. He paid us and we got to go. We got to have a child to get back to. I'm not as upset with everybody with her that everybody else is. I didn't see they're like, no, where everybody's mad at Grace for doing this and stuff. But you're right though, Soleil. She did talk to Ryan Coogler. She talked and she said, I need a backstory. I need something before I set this fire. And so she did ask for a little bit of a build up to her anger so they can see her angry, and then Mike smoke covers her mouth and the whole thing, because they just wanted to hold out till the morning, but they needed to. She wanted that build up.
I think everybody really pissed out of it because it's like, okay, yeah, you want to get your daughter, but you also brought them into the building.
Yep.
Damned everybody else. Like, you could have went out there by yourself.
Yeah.
Or you wanted to get your daughter, but you didn't even fight. Or like you know what I'm saying? You wanted to get your daughter.
You did great for the fire though.
Yes.
She did throw it straight at Remnick. Remnick just
he went like this.
He just deflected that motherfucker. Like
that made me mad. I was like, so we did all that for what?
Yes,
Bro, she put that thing on him. She threw a dot. It was right in his face. He was just faster with it.
Yeah.
And then set the barn on fire. Like, oh my God.
Right. This man been fighting for 1,000 years. You listen.
Yeah.
But then she lit her husband up though. She said, oh no, we're going down. We're both going down. Like, and so now poor Lisa, I was like, that's what I wanted.
She by herself.
I just was so mad though. Why was Lisa so mad? She was
a kid working in 2 stores. Like,
she's like, yeah.
Hey, look, when I saw it,
and the black grocery store. Come on.
When I was leaving, I was like, hey, that's some Chinese tradition right there. They got her kid working that store. You can call that Chinese place. So right now, I guarantee you 16-year-old answer the phone, 15, 14-year-old answer the phone.
Right.
Exactly. Mad too. You know what? Yeah, absolutely.
And I think she is getting the brunt of it, but I think people are really just feeling like, you know, it's well, I'm not gonna say it's never us, but you know what I'm saying? So many times it's like it's people we let into our cookout. It's people we you know what I'm saying? It's people that we, you know what I'm saying? We gave them a pass and they cool, you know what I'm saying? They da 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 da. And then it turns out, oh no, they were selling us up the river. Or like, you know what I'm saying? They as soon as it got tough, they didn't care about the cookout pass no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't care about that cookout.
I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
I did not even think about it like that. But you have a point, though. It's like, man, like, we let her in. We thought she was one of us, and now look.
And it was a perfect way because they needed a way to progress the story and get these vampires inside the building. Yeah. Why not go the historic route of Chinese people who have been helping the black community, but they also got their white side. They get more from the white people, so they're gonna do more for the white people. So it's like, okay. That's I get that.
So they're ready to fight, and now we got so everybody's fighting, and of course Annie goes down. She gets bit, and one thing I appreciated, she said, "There's somebody waiting for me on the other side. If they take me, kill me. I don't want to do this." Kill me. And so he really, go ahead, Soleil, you wanted to talk about that. Go ahead, because that part too. I was like, she's got to go, like, unfortunately, but yeah, go ahead, Soleil.
Somebody mentioned that I'm getting a lot of my takes from threads.
It's okay, go ahead.
But somebody mentioned that Remnick didn't just want Sammy, they wanted Annie too.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, that would mean that he would have access to like her ancestral powers, and you see how everybody listened to her, and that was a really good aspect of the movie too, because it's just like when Annie spoke, everybody listened. There was no arguing, there was no back and forth, because they knew that she knew what she was talking about. So it's like but Remnick wanted both of those things. So and then another thing with Annie Annie getting stabbed or killed was, how do y'all feel about Mary screaming for her and being like, oh my God, Annie? Like,
well, I felt like almost everybody that got turned felt like they was under Remnick's power, right? But for some reason, Stack always felt like he kept a sense of himself. So I was thinking more like he wanted Smoke and Annie to get turned so they can go on being being a good family. And Annie took up for Mary. You remember when remember when Ribnick first showed up and he was like, well, she's in there, and Annie was like, she's family. So Mary seeing Annie getting killed, I really think that really hurt her because they kept Mary and Stack really pretty much kept a sense of themselves as, even though they're turned, they still was who they are.
Right.
And so that was the plan for Smoke to get turned, Annie to get turned. Hell, even Preacher Samuel would get turned, and they can all go on living the way they wanted to live and get money together, what the case may be. So I really feel like that just hurt them because that wasn't their plan. Because remember, that's when he told Mary to haul ass. He was like, "Look, it seems like Smoke is hell bent on killing us, and he wanted to kill you before you was a vampire. So get your ass out of here. Like I need you to survive because I know I'm good, but I need you to get up out of here." And she listened, and they didn't listen to Remnick like everybody else did. So I was just wondering, like, how did that's something that's not really told in the movie, how they kept their sense of self. I was wondering if it's something to do with the eye color, because Stack eye color was purple, if I'm not mistaken. Hers was a little blue or whatever, but everybody else was like dull yellow. Everybody else was like dull yellow and stuff like that. And then Remnick had the red eyes because he's the alpha and shit. So, or I'm assuming he's the alpha. So I was just like, maybe that's what it was. They was able to. That's to tell that they was a little different than everybody else. Hell, even Bullshit was yellow.
Right, he was. I do agree. I think that they really not only was Annie like spiritual, and she could bring people into the fold, but Mary, as soon as Mary got turned, she needed Annie as family. She needed that additional person. So I think that I agree. I think that that's why they were just like killing them, they're supposed to live forever. They didn't. They wanted somebody. They wanted Mary or Annie too. Okay, so now they're ready to fight, y'all. We about to get So now they're ready to fight. They're getting their knives together and everything, and that's when they bring them all in, and they're really they're fighting. Everybody's going, and they're stabbing people and everything. And go ahead, because
who was the extra niggas that was getting stabbed and killed by the vampires? Because I was like,
so when you saw them eating the garlic,
there was
a guy standing next to Perlene. There were the guy. Okay, so remember the fight scene. The fight scene that when Stack and Mary were having sex in the room.
He got sliced in the face and everything.
He was still because then he said, "Okay, everybody leave." After Stack got bit, everybody left, but there were like 2 or 3 guys that didn't leave.
I think I know who they are. Do y'all remember, like in the end of the movie when it said "my heart" and something else? I can't remember, but it showed. And you saw the montage of the men getting out of the car, and they were. I think that's who it was, because technically, like they're technically, I guess, employees of the juke joint because they helped put it together.
Because I was like, bro, they didn't have a line or nothing. They just.
There was that guy standing next to Perlene. There was the guy that got slashed that was fighting with Smoke. They were just people that just didn't leave when he told them to leave.
I saw one of the guys' Instagram, and he was going to see, and it was like my wife was like not my wife, sorry, his wife was like, "Oh, my baby's in the movie and stuff." And come to find out, he's the dude that got thrown on the table and stabbed or whatever. So he was one of the vampires, and I was like, where were you like that? Okay, cool. I get it. Yeah. I get it. I understand.
I was seeing that on TikTok. Like, I'm in this movie, and they're one of the dancers that just had like one part of one.
Exactly. I didn't know the Chinese ancestor was the actual going back to the future dance and everything. The Chinese ancestor is actually someone called the Monkey King. I didn't know that until I saw the Instagram, the dude, the actual dancer. He was going through makeup and everything. He is the Monkey King, and I was like, that is fucking dope. That's cool as hell, because I didn't even put two and two together. Like, I saw the dance movements and everything, but I didn't think the Monkey King came to party with the black people. That's cool as hell.
So after this, so they're getting ready. They all came in there. I want to talk about Delroy Lindo's death scene. I feel like because they had to give that legend, they had to give that man a true death scene. They said, and he cut his hand with he had the blood squirting out, and he said, "I guess this is it for old Delta Slim." I was like, that I loved it. I thought this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you, and he was there not backup, but he was the yeah.
Decoy.
Yeah, let them feast on me while y'all get away.
Yeah.
And then they get up to the stairs, and that's when Annie gets bit. That's when Charlene gets bit, and then they jump through. And then that's when we see them. Okay, y'all. I was like, did he kill his brother? I really thought that he killed his brother. I said,
nah.
I said, I just don't think he can do that. I just don't see him doing it. I don't see him stabbing. I just don't see him stabbing Stack. I just didn't see him do it. So, okay, couple of things. A lot of people are like, wait a minute, though. We saw Mary in the fight scene. How did she get away? But remember, she was always running away. She ran away and she said, "I'll see you later, Stack." And then she comes back to fight, but then she left again.
Stack told her ass to get up out of there because he knew Smoke wouldn't have a problem killing her after he killed Annie. So
back when everybody,
nah, she never came back. She ran off in the woods.
Was she under like some shade or?
Yeah, more than likely.
She ran off. She let them fight. That's what Stack told her. Said, "Let's get out. Let's go. Let's go."
And I want to see that's the reason. And for Stack, I think that's the reason why he locked the barn up and everything. So Stack will be good.
Yes. That's what everybody is saying, y'all. That's what everybody is saying. That's where Annie and Stack were in the barn, sleep during the daytime. So okay, so now what's his name? So now we're back to Sammy. Sammy jumps out of that second.
See, I thought it was stairs up there because of Remnick. He fell like a fucking rock.
He's so hard.
Remnick can fly. Y'all Remnick can fly.
Oh my God, when he fell, my first thing, I was like, I know that shit hurt. I know that hurt.
Bro. Bottom when and everything.
Yes, because he didn't want to fall, but that fall. And I said, oh, thank God for stunt doubles, because that I know that.
Boy, the shot was just so crazy. It was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Is he dead? That's how he go out. Oh my God!
Right? Is that how he goes out? So okay, then he goes into, and then he gets into the water. Him and Remnick fighting to the death. That guitar saved him. And and that's the end scene with him and Remnick in the water, and Remnick kept putting him in the water,
Baptizing him, basically.
Let's talk about this because Soleil brought it up earlier. He's saying the Lord's Prayer. When I'm in the theater, I was actually saying the Lord's Prayer with them. Hallowed be thy name. I know the Lord's Prayer. But let's talk about it. So Remnick is actually repeating it after him. What did you think about that? Go ahead, Soleil.
Personally, I am not a Christian. I am not. So when I saw that, I don't know, because damn, this is a hard topic. This is a hard topic because, I mean, truth be told, like I said, when I was in the theater, like so many people were so excited and clapping for it. But the fact of the matter is that Remnick even talks about the fact that people brought Christianity to his land and pretty much used it as a way to take over his people. So he's literally telling Sammy, like, I know the prayer too. They used it on me. I knew it before you did. So the fact that you're saying this prayer and thinking it's going to protect you, it won't. It won't. And I felt kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie, because it's like there are other ways to express your spirituality. Christianity is not the only one. And I don't know, when everybody was clapping and everything like that, and then they got real silent when I feel like I'm going on a tangent, I'm sorry, but it got really silent. I'm trying to express the best way that I can, but for me, the room got really silent when basically Remick started saying the prayer. It was just like, yeah, that's the truth. Like that's what it really is historically. Like that's really what it looked like. So it was a good thing that Smoke came and saved him, because otherwise he would have been ass out just like everybody else.
But I also feel like when he did the Lord's Prayer, Remick started repeating it, just like how you said. He said that this religion was used to control him. Cool. The guitar floats back to him, and he goes back to his love of music, and him grabbing the guitar, slinging it, cracking him, gave him that extra time for Smoke to come back and save him and everything. So in reality, some people can say, "Oh well, he prayed and the guitar came back." No, the music, his first love, the thing that he loved, saved him. Yeah, gave him that extra time and everything. So it's like, you can put faith in things that you love, whatever, right? If you love Christianity, then hey, I'm not gonna knock your boat. Whatever gets you out of the bed in the morning.
Exactly.
But for me, it's the passion and the things that I love to do, and then my loved ones is the ones that help me get through my day and help me with my depression and my demons and everything. So I take that as like, go for what you love, because even if we go back, I don't think we talked about this, how Smoke was talking to a preacher, Sammy, and saying, you can't go to no other juke joint and sing, because basically you're mine. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the competition now. You go to competition, and I kill you myself if you do that, this and that third. Smoke was trying to control him from stopping him from doing what he loved. His dad was trying to control him from stopping him from doing what he loved. Like the whole thing, I feel like the whole point of this movie, another message, because it had so many, was just like, you can't let people control you and stifle your growth and doing the things that you love, because they might think it's wrong, or they might think it's a challenge to them. So that right there was a symbol of him stopping Remick from taking control of his power and him getting his power back.
Yeah. Also, I think too, like I said, Black people are we're very we love, we're very Christian people, very church going people. But I think so many times too, like I was raised Christian, but I'm not Christian now, but like I can respect the divinity, but I think too, we have to respect the historical nature of Christianity. Klans members claim to be Christian.
Yes.
And it's you know, and I think the Black church wasn't, after MLK was killed, the Black church wasn't hard on social issues. That we never pushed back, you know what I'm saying? So I think we like to act like religion is like this compass for morality, when in reality it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not. Like it's used for evil, you know what I'm saying? Or it's just used a lot.
It's manipulated for evil and for good. Yes.
Yeah, it can be used for evil.
Manipulated for evil. Just like the Catholic faith as well. Just like the Catholic faith.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything can, honestly. Anything.
Yeah, everything can be used for good and bad. So
that's the point, is to question it. It is okay to question those types of things. And so it's just like you can't run away from somebody who has like a different religion or a different way of expressing their spirituality or seeing God. Like, and that, I feel like this movie showed that through Hoodoo.
Yes, and just because someone's wearing the cloth don't mean, look, not to take it here, but look, I'm sure that there were people baptizing people and they were molesting kids at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so that's what I was about to say about him pushing Sammy's hand into the water, or his head, into the water several times. I take it with both what you said and what Mr. Rogers said, because I am a Christian. I do believe in God. And I do love God, but at the same time, I understand exactly what you're saying about the church can be a very negative place as well. People can be running from. They have a lot of bad people in the church as well that are leaders of the church. So with Sammy, two things I want to touch on, because what Mr. Rogers said about what Smoke was trying to help him and saying that you don't want this life. He wasn't saying it because, yes, this is what you love. He was like, I'm going to what I love. You can't stop me from doing what I love. I'm grown. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to be a pastor, preacher boy like my father. I'm going to what I love. But when he kept putting his head in that water, he said, this is time for me to save myself. This is time for me to, and he just was able to figure out, okay, I need to save myself. I need to embrace what I love, like what Mr. Rogers just said. And although, what do you call it? Smoke was trying to help him in his mind, because Smoke is the mature brother. Smoke is the one that's like, don't do this. You don't want this life. You don't want to be running from the cops. You don't want to be, one of Al Capone's guys. You don't want to be, joining the mob or the military.
Sandy is just like, I just want to sing. I just want to sing.
But that's like, so I think to save him, that's what he was trying to do. But at the same time, when he put his head in that water and he saw that guitar, he said, I need to use whatever I got to get out of the situation. So I do think this was, again, smart villains. Like when he was doing that, he said, okay, you believe I'm going to baptize you. And he kept pushing his head down. I said, this was great. But it's so interesting what Daisy Dream said. They were both saying the prayer, but only one of them believed it and came out of the situation. One was performative, of course, Remick, and the other actually had the faith, which is Sammy. That is actually that made so much sense.
Yeah, that was really like. Yeah, I like that. That's what I'm saying. Like he made a prayer and the guitar floated back to him. Well, can argue that the prayer got the guitar to come back to him.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So yeah, it's right. Many interpretations. There's more than one way to skin a cat. We love that.
This shot.
Yeah.
This shot was so good. This is like, what the hell? What the hell is happening? But this was so good. And it also was like, it's daylight. Everybody burned. Everybody's gone. Everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, we finally got out of this alive. So now let's go to this shot. So first of all, I love Stack. Stack is just an unforgettable character, because he's like, burn this guitar. And he's like, oh no, I can't burn the guitar. It's this famous man's guitar. He's like, what are you talking about? Our daddy gave us that guitar. What are you talking about? That was another.
You lying son of a bitch.
Exactly.
It's like
exactly.
Lying. Smoke.
Exactly. So and this is another part that when Soleil and I were talking, and I said, oh no, now he's got to roll his own cigarettes. And I said, well, wait a minute, did he take on? So he was always had this shake, but Stack was always rolling his cigarettes for him. And earlier when they were talking about the wooden nickels, he was like, I need a cigarette, coming right up. Like Stack was always there to roll his cigarette for him, but now he's got to roll his own cigarettes. And then, but also when Remick was talking about the Klan, and the Klan's like, that's the Klan's nephew. He was ready to. I was like, this whole scene with him and these machine guns was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, I think too. In a less skilled director's hand, it could have been like heavy. Like it felt like good. Like it did. You know what I'm saying? It felt good. It felt like it didn't feel like, oh, he's just trying to tack that on, or like it just none of the movie felt like that. Again, like he's combining all these elements. It very much could have felt like, you know, oh, he's doing the Klan thing now. Oh, he's trying to make this black guy kill all these white. But it just felt natural and a part of the movie.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
if you think about it, this movie was really ambitious, but he did it in a way. But he did it in such a I don't know how to explain it. It's like the way that he did it. He did it in such a cohesive way. That's the word I use.
It flowed. It flowed perfect.
It was so much going on, so many elements, but he was like the fact that at the end of the movie he was still able to have something blow up. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Put it here.
Everything. I mean, like you said, I agree. It was ambitious, but at the same time, the fact that the callback when Remick mentioned the Klan, and then he said, "I told you if you kill one of us, I'm going to kill you." Like he knew he was going to take care of these. He was going to shoot up the Klansmen. He knew it. Yeah. This was such a good movie. Go ahead.
I think what's the word? The moment I knew this movie was like real and it was going to be great is when he shot that man in the ass. I was like, yo, he didn't hesitate. He just walked right up, shot him in the ass.
And he had the nerve to pay for his care. Like,
like, okay, this movie's real. This movie is going to be
so awesome. One of the scenes I didn't get was right before he died, and he's sitting there and he remembered he's sitting there and he had a vision of Annie, and Annie's all in white.
He was seeing it. He was there with her. Yeah, he was there with her.
He was there with her. He was already there with her.
Yeah.
And he saw the baby, and she said, I'll let you hold her if you put that cigarette out. Like that was such a perfect ending. It was such a perfect ending.
It looked so beautiful on screen too. Like it was such a beautiful love story.
Yeah, right. It is. Yeah,
it was.
It really was.
Great couple.
Did
and
anybody,
that's go ahead.
Oh, no, did anybody else when Stack came back and he was just like, "Yo, just come and be a vampire," and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yeah, like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, the morning, like, yo, like. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to stay under Remnick the whole time. You can go do your own thing at some point, probably.
Yeah.
Like,
but I was like,
I thought you were talking about the end credit scene. When you talking about when they were outside the Juke.
Yeah, when they were outside and he was just like, yo.
He was about to go. He was about to go. It was Eddie that pulled him back. He was about to do it. So
because the love of his brother, and he was like, come with me, you know, and even with Sammy was going to step forward because Sammy blamed himself. There were so many little times when they could have, they were going to go and join them. Go ahead, Soleil, you go ahead.
We didn't talk about Remick's dance. Somebody called it the vampire jig or something.
It's a river dance.
When I heard that, I was like, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Hey,
he knew that.
Nice.
Yeah. He was getting it though. He was out there getting it. They had a little circle going around there.
Yeah.
It looked so eerie at the same time. Like it actually looked really scary. I was like,
it really did. Yeah, it really did. Like it's not gonna convince anybody. Yeah.
But he didn't have to learn. He didn't have to learn that dance. He knew that dance when he was young. Like he knows. Yes.
Yeah, they added that in. They added that in the movie. It's something O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell.
Jack O'Connell. Yeah. They added it in the movie for, so it was. Oh man, that's dope.
He knew that was so good. The tap dance. We call it river dance, but yes, that tap dance. He knew that. He knew that dance. That scene, and that's another thing. There's that scene where they're all around him and dancing around him. It's all just another element of saying, well, he's our leader, you know, that type of thing. It was saying it without saying it. This movie was so it was so important. Oh, I did pull that. So like everybody's just dancing around him.
I think Remy is a villain that doesn't lie though. Like he tells you everything up front, and I really feel like he was just a unity person. Like he was like, I want to bring everybody together under me, of course, but I'm not gonna sit here and treat you wrong or treat you different because of the color of your skin. Like you're gonna be under my flock, and I'm gonna protect you, and I'm gonna do what I'm gonna make more of us and everything. The only issue is you're a disease. You're a disease. You are a killing monster and everything, and everybody that you create turn into killing monsters. So that's the evil side. That's the downside of it. But there's an upside. You can live forever. You look young, party, get some good dances. If you would have got Sammy, you probably could have saw a couple of ancestors. Who knows?
Listen, I'm gonna say this now. As a vampire person, I like vampires. When has there ever been a time in history when humans haven't killed each other?
Yeah, that's true.
People say we a disease. You know what I'm saying? As far as the earth goes,
let Alexa or Siri get
bodies
self-aware. Bodies self-aware. They're gonna turn to Cybernet, and they're gonna be like, yeah, the humans are the problem, and we have Terminator going on.
True.
It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time.
Okay, so let's go to the end. That end scene when we see Sammy as an old man in 1992, and of course,
blues player.
Yes, he's a real blues player, and Mary and Stack walk in. Did y'all think that he was gonna get turned then?
Nah,
not really. But he didn't have to come up and smell him like that. That was rude.
That's all he's like. Wait a minute.
He said, I promised Smoke to leave you alone, but I know you about to go. So
he said, almost going like, excuse me.
I think I'm done. I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done with this land. I think I'm done with this world. I've had enough. So, and they let him go. I was like, and to me, if he was like a real vampire, they wouldn't care. If they wanted Sammy, they would have taken him. So yeah.
Mary looked like Diamond from Players Club in that scene. She came in looking like Diamond. I said, okay.
No, she had so much fun with that in that ponytail.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you.
When I tell you, I said, "Oh, she really embraces 1992. She embraced that.
She was having a ball.
Yeah, with them highway spoons. I said she embraced that. I said this was like, and like Smoke 007 said, the music, the costumes. Of course, they had Ruth Carter, the story, the lore. I mean, and that's what we were talking about. It was more folk horror. It wasn't a horror movie. It was more folk horror, and just the little elements that were so specific to 1932 Clarksdale, Louisiana. Like it was so specific to that time, and then you add the element of vampires. I mean, it was so needed.
I see a lot of people trying to see if they can get like a crossover from Lovecraft Country, but not only Lovecraft Country, but Interview with a Vampire. They want not Lestat, but you haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen it. It's on my list too.
Lovecraft Interview with a Vampire is good. They want to know those two vampires that were crossing paths, and I want to say somebody that worked on Interview with a Vampire was like, let me see if I can make something happen. And I was like, oh, that's dope.
They had asked Ryan Coogler in another interview, who would you love for these guys to fight with, and would you want them to fight with maybe one of the Lost Boys, or Interview with a Vampire? What other vampire team? And he said Lost Boys. I immediately
I see Lost Boys. Yeah,
I said, oh my God, you've got to see Lost Boys.
Okay, Lost Boys. I gotta get, man. I gotta get. It's just so many movies, man. You be thinking you've seen it, and then it's just like, oh dang, it's like 10 movies I haven't seen.
Bro, I be doing lists of like most of my reviews are lists of movies I want people to check out and stuff like that, and it still be people in the comments saying, "Have you seen this?" I'm like, dang, nah, I ain't seen that. Let me go check that out. So
exactly. There's
good times.
Yeah,
there's a lot coming up. This was so good. I'm not even a vampire person, or I'm not like necessarily a horror person, but there was so many elements to this. I had to see it more than once. I really wanted to run it up. Also, I really want to get Delroy Lindo and Mumi Masako. Hopefully Michael B. Jordan as well, an Oscar nom. They really needed this. I'm hoping we can get at least 5 nominations out of this. It was be so
Michael
Go
B.
ahead,
Jordan should definitely get a nom.
Yeah.
I'll also say this to me and my shorty were talking about this, and we were kind of like, it's good because her mom was going to see the movie, and because she was like, oh yeah, like I heard that people are saying like, oh, it's not that good, or it didn't make this much money at the box office. And I was just like, I think it's so amazing that Ryan Coogler is kind of getting that Tyler Perry effect of like black aunties coming to like basically not keep him afloat, but just be like, no, like we're gonna support you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I love that. And then we also was talking about like how Spike, I don't think Spike Lee ever got it. Maybe after Do the Right Thing, because I think Spike at his core is like, I think Ryan and Tyler Perry are very different filmmakers, but I think they celebrate blackness in a way that Spike Lee he doesn't. Like he dissects blackness, he kind of breaks it down, but he's not like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not, and it's just a take on their styles, you know what I'm saying? Like I think
that is interesting. I never thought about it like that.
I don't think people like black aunties rush to support Spike Lee because it's like his movies are, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's a cerebral thing, but it's also gonna typically
sometimes it holds up a mirror.
Yes.
It holds up a mirror, and it's kind of hard to digest because he's kind of like he's so raw with it. Yeah, like with I think,
and he has a message too. I think.
It's a message all the time.
School days, so I understand what you're saying. So Spike more dissects the blackness, like you said, like holds up that mirror. But Tyler Perry and they
Tyler Perry, Ryan Coogler, they're just, it's more just celebratory. It's just telling a story in a way. It's telling a story.
I have my issue with Tyler Perry movies because most of them are all the same.
Not, and maybe let's take, but just saying why Spike, I don't think got that support.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
Because
I'm not comparing.
But also, Tyler Perry started big in the church in plays, so he had already had that fan base.
Yes, that's very true.
So they're gonna support him no matter what he's throwing out there, and then you throw in the fact that he is always he will somehow paint women in a bad light just to uplift them, and it helps to ease the tough pill to swallow of like, you know, poverty and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, but the villain is also a man somehow.
100%. So I'm not saying, you know, he's the greatest film. I'm just
I get what you said. I'm just saying I think
it's dope that someone so artistic like Ryan Coogler is getting the support. That's what I really trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's typically, you know what I mean? It's typically, we don't typically see the real different, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we don't see the different voices or the artistic or the creative voices get that mainstream support. And I think it's, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just beautiful.
Go ahead, Soleil. You were chomping at the bit.
Go ahead.
Because
can we talk about Zenzi? Oh my gosh. I think she was a co-producer or something like that. Zenzi, Ryan Coogler.
His girl. His wife.
I want to talk about that, and then I want to piggyback into that. How this he's got this deal that he's now that he's done for himself. That is a huge deal because that hasn't been done by a black man, but y'all, that's been done before. Like Ron Howard, there's other directors that have done it, and I'm like, why is this such a big deal? But it's because he's the only black man that's done that. So go ahead, let's talk about this.
And he's young.
And he's young.
And he's young, and he's really black too.
Yeah.
And he's not like
he Compton black, like
yes. Like, you hear him in an interview. I'm like
Oakland.
Oakland. I'm like, bro, this nigga he got an accent, and I love it, man. Like, he's like,
Did y'all watch the video of him breaking down the film? Like, all right, so we got the exposures, on the side, and you know, they don't really film like this like more. So it's very unique. It's very unique that the film is together in the process of IMAX. So if I would say, if you got the movie theaters near you, go and check him out. I said, my boy,
Yo,
my boy, hood boy.
His accent is so thick. Oh my
So
God.
thick, boy.
Yes.
So
I
thick.
said, there's no code switching for him.
No, it's not. You can't even.
Did y'all see the interview with him talking to Michael B. Jordan about the orange peels?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
I ain't seen that one.
Oh, I love it. So he doesn't like orange peels. He doesn't like to peel an orange. He doesn't like that. So
Ryan
Michael doesn't like blood
Right.
and guts and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, I remember. Yeah. So
Zinzi,
Michael B. Jordan don't like that. Yeah.
right. And so, but also he really likes to face his fears. He's stuff like this. He's like, let me just, because this is almost like facing my fears. He doesn't like blood and guts and all of that stuff. So so the fake blood's real sticky and it's all over him and everything. But Zinzi, she said, she put it in perspective. It's like, you don't like oranges, and just think of your whole body covered in orange peels. He's like, oh no, like that. Boy, like I was like,
Cover my man in orange peels.
that was great. So he's got first it was first right of refusal, right? But his deal he made with he's gonna own the rights to Sinners. Is it in 10 years? I want to make
25
sure.
Well, it's 20.
25 years, right?
25 years.
5 years, yeah.
Okay.
But he gets final cut. He gets money of the box office and everything too.
Yeah, he gets a percentage of the box.
Yeah, in 2050, thanks to the advantages deal he made with Warner Brothers, Ryan Coogler will own the rights to Sinners, the Black Southern Gothic blockbuster. I kind of like that.
Black
The
Southern.
contract gave him final cut and a piece of the box office revenue right from the start to own his movie about Black ownership in Jim Crow South. Yeah, that was
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And too, like he said it, I did see his thing about this, and he said it with a lot of humility, but he's like, well, I am Black, I am young, but like y'all forget, like, look how much money my movies are grossing. Y'all acting like this is some, like, you know what I'm saying? This is some type of handout. It's like, yo, who's a director? Like, what director? It don't matter, Black, white, you know what I'm saying? Woman, man, Jewish. Who can you stack up to me and say that they deserve this deal more than me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's $2 billion at the, and they're great movies too.
Yeah.
They're good movies. It's really an excellent movie. Like, it's not because my name is Ryan Coogler. It's not because his name is Michael B. Jordan. It's because it's an excellent movie.
And they put so much effort into doing their research. Like, so many people are starting to listen to the blues and even what is it called? Irish music? I don't know what it's called though. Irish music? Is it
Gaelic music or no? That's not it, is it?
Is it Gaelic?
No.
I don't know what it is. More people have been looking up these old blues artists, and I just think that's just so cool to me. Like,
yeah, it is.
This movie has been such a huge history lesson, not just a Black history lesson, but it's been a history lesson of American what is it called? I don't want to say American culture because I don't know.
No,
that's
American
history. Yeah,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's why our cinema is important. That's why Black cinema and it is American cinema, and that's why it is so important for us to keep going. This is so important.
And tell the truth of what happened, because what's going on right now, there is an attack on intellectualism. Like, let's just talk about it. There's an attack on it. It is okay to talk about history. It is okay to learn history. It's okay to read books. It is okay to listen to people's stories about what the fuck happened to our people, other people's people. Like, I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
You good.
I just heard. I was listening to the dude who wrote Social Network. He said this years ago during the first Trump presidency. But he was just like, yo, I feel like the attack on political correctness has left us where the only thing that you can't call a person dumb anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one we need the most. It's just like, man, like, it's so many dumb people, like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like we've now been like, oh, well, you're calling me dumb. Where you getting your? But and I'm not trying to. But it's just, I feel like that's the biggest issue. It's just like, man, I'm not going to have this conversation with you because you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll be
so sad.
I'll be the first to admit I need to read more books just as much as I watch a lot of TVs and stuff and
Me
everything.
too.
But you can still have a conversation without getting mad because somebody said a word larger than onomatopoeia or something like that. You know, it's like some people, they feel so intimidated because somebody speak in their words smart, when just like, matter of fact, the perfect example of that going on right now is the Joe Budden podcast. If y'all haven't been seeing any of the clips,
I know what you're I know.
Mark be eating ish ass up every time he try to have a conversation, and then when he get proven wrong, he just be like, well, whatever then. I'm like, bro, he might not come back. Defend what you were saying. He didn't know that the one of the first waves of the civil rights happened in the 40s and the 30s. He thought the first one was the 60s. So when he got called out on it, he was like, anybody was out there, because I think the conversation was basically about rich people using cheap labor and how most people in America, I say most, don't feel good about buying stuff from companies that use child labor from other countries. And he's like, well, your view on that is different because you're American. Their views over there isn't the same. I'm like, I don't think nobody would be happy to send their kid off, their 5-year-old, to work in a sweatshop.
Yeah, I think we should care about that. We should.
And his rebuttal was, well, when your parents were in the 30s and everything, they was picking cotton at 12. Nobody wanted that. Like, bro, are you serious right now?
Right.
So that's like, you're right. The intellectual war is crazy, and people are. I'm not gonna hold you. We on the podcast type there right now, but it's podcast fault. Too many people got mics.
Yes.
Too many people got mics.
Too many people got mics. I say stuff every now and then.
We are not giving advice. We are talking about reviews and our own experiences. Giving people advice.
True.
I love that.
Yeah.
But you had the people that be trying to actually teach people stuff, and I'm like, yo, y'all.
We don't know.
Okay.
It's okay to challenge things. Don't believe everything.
It is okay to challenge things.
Yes.
Come with some backstory. Come with
Intellectual
some evidence.
exactly.
So
Well, yeah. Think about it.
Okay, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We, this has motivated me. I was just talking about this to Mr. Rogers and to Soleil. I talk about this all the time.
We went longer than the movie.
I will be more consistent. We're going to get this going. This was the jump off. We are going to talk about this, and we are going to be consistent. Joshua, Soleil, we said this months ago, and we didn't do it. And life happens, but there's more to come. And we will be doing this more often. And honestly, y'all just gave me a good idea. I'm going to talk to y'all about this after the show. So we're going to thank you for joining us. I actually did not think we were going to go that long. So y'all watch this in segments. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like it.
I feel like it goes in segments too. We go,
exactly.
Yeah.
What I found out is a lot of people put this on for like background noise while they do stuff.
Yes.
That's
When
what
I'm driving.
Listen,
Yeah.
do the dishes and watch us. That's a good idea.
Real. Your laundry.
Exactly.
Excuse me. Again, I hadn't been doing it for a while, so excuse me that intermission with my music. Listen, it won't happen next time for sure.
We
All
had
right.
fun.
Hey, it was jamming.
All right. Hold on.